Hey everybody, I'm back. After that failed recombination of Tempest Spire, I decided to become a streamer because recording RNG was just not there. I need that streamer RNG. So I streamed for a few hours, only to craft this staff. And out of the ashes from Tempest Spire came Viper Pile. I know it's a trash name, but whatever. This is what was born. Not so bad. Unfortunately, it does not have tier 1 burning damage. It's tier 2, but I'm done. I'm not gonna craft this anymore. It's good enough. And just FYI, I forgot that the burning damage is a fire modifier, and for some reason I always think of it as a suffix, even though I know it's a prefix on this as a warlord. It's just in my mind when they combine, I just think of it as a suffix. So I was thinking of crafting the fire damage. However, the fire damage is a fire modifier, and the burning damage is a fire modifier, so I can't craft it. So the only thing you would craft would be, well, if you're an elementalist, you would craft this for more damage. The hit or X% of lightning damage as extra chaos damage. If you wanted to do, you could also go hits can't be evaded if you really want to. Because I do use Leap Slam. So you could just Leap Slam into a pack of enemies, stun them 100%. Because Sleep Slam says damaging hits always stun enemies that are on full life. So you could put hits can't be evaded if you really want to stun enemies. So you'd stun, discharge. As you see, I have no charges, but I just want to show the character what it looks like. Beautiful armor set. But yeah, I am using Aspect of the Cat with the Pharaoh's Fur. So the aspect of the cat has 0 reservation, and it just has +1 to all maximum resistances. We are not putting our skill gems in here. This is for the auras and an enlightened setup. All the not jewels. Discharge goes into the staff itself because it has +1 socketed fire gems. Again, discharges fire, cold, and a lightning. So, just using discharge, ignite Prolif, awakening burning damage, awaken swift affliction, awaken deadly ailments, and empower. I'm only using ignite proliferation while mapping, same as Death Rush. If you're gonna boss, you would switch to Polar Devastation and put it in the left ring slot. Remember, because that gives covered in ash on the left ring slot. I totally forgot about Death Rush. I was just doing a Nameless Seer, and I was like, oh yeah, and this is what he offered. I was like, dude, I should be using a Death Rush instead. I was using Barracks Respite, very good. It pretty much clears the screen. And like off screen is what I should say. But this has a screen wide clear, so it doesn't matter. So as you can see, with Aspect of the Cat using it provides me both power and frenzy charges. So I click discharge, and I have 9 endurance charges because of Vol's Devotion. Gain endurance charge when you lose a power charge, and because the Aspect of the Cat refreshes my power and frenzy charges within 2 seconds after I use it, I can use it again and I get it freshed again. I use it again and it comes back. So the cat's stealth, cat's agility, cat's stealth, when they flip-flop, if you do it within like about a 2 second window, you can get all 9 power, 9 endurance, and 3 frenzies if you do it at the correct time. Like if you just do it off cooldown, well, you see my A discharge has a 2-second cooldown. If I did it right there, I would have to wait 2 seconds. Or 4 seconds total. And if you do it at a correct, or if you do it at the correct time, you would get it within those 2 seconds. Pretty much, it's just a big boomer. That's all it is. Just gonna show off or showcase a Drox Map. It's on a beach. And I'm just gonna do breaches here. I can't remember. Am I actually having the correct one? Yes. I think I was doing breach on my level 100 for the Essence Drain, and I didn't like beach map because it's just too small. But again, I'm not using Flamesurge. Instead, I'm just using Bane. I do enough damage that I don't need Flamesurge. So, boom. Everything dies. Click the breach. Kaboom. Everything dies. I might die in this map because it has extra damage, but we'll see. I've been learning to play this character because it's not like my Essence Drain character where it pretty much never dies. It's pretty hard to die on that character. But yeah, like I can go into packs. It's not a big deal. So there's nothing to be too scared of. As long as it's not super rippy map, this character can tank due to having golems for the Elementalist. It's a Golemancer. And I do get adrenaline from Death Rush every 2 seconds. So the reason why Death Rush is good is because of Ignite Proliferation. So you almost will always have it up while you're doing a breach or something. Because everything just runs into it and they die. And you refresh the duration of adrenaline through Death Rush. So I do have a Cluster Drill that has Brush with Death and Master of Fire. So everything nearby is exposed to fire exposure. I went with that because I don't know. It's what I had. I just need a Brush with Death, and I might want to change something on the glove that I'm currently using. So we'll see. Again, still have to be careful. These are some tough mobs. But every 2 seconds you can use Discharge. So you just run around, just click things, and everything goes kaboom, dead. And then you can change to Awaken Unbound Ailments or Power Charge and Critical if you want actual single target. So yeah, Power Charge and not Power Charge and Crit. Yeah, it is Power Charge and Crit. It provides 4% more damage per Power Charge. And this build has 9 power charges. So 9 times 4. What is that? 36? So it's doing 36% more damage from a very cheap. So 42% reduce per friendly charge. This character actually cannot do. It'll actually put me to a point where I can't cast Discharge. And if I go hit this, if this was the global one, I would die a lot. But because it's just the minions, it doesn't matter. They instantly die. Yeah, I've been trying to get to level 97, but I've been dying a lot more than I wanted to because I kept trying to test things out, see what this character can tank and what it cannot tank. And I decided I'm just gonna buy Omens of Amelioration to negate a lot of the XP loss. I mean, even though you're in softcore, I still would like to gain some levels. So that would be nice. Okay. Looks like I missed something. Yeah, what was this that dropped? Oh, home. Whatever. Oh yeah, so yeah. Just using Leaf Slam with faster attacks just because we run so slow. And I just have everything automated. The flask. It's pretty much a do nothing build. Just run around, like Discharge, and wait for it to go on cooldown, and click it again. Super fun, super easy. And I guess this would technically qualify me as a boomer, this build. Although I guess I am a boomer to Zoomer standards. Yeah. By the way, if you're a Zoomer, best to take your time and learn things. You get nowhere zooming through life. I can promise you that. Dude, this is so fun. You have no idea. And unlike the other build, which had almost died, oh, okay, almost died. All right, no zoomers, do whatever you want. I don't care. But yeah, the reason I was using Barracks Respite, but yeah, as you can see, the build itself clears pretty much screen wide, so there's no point for extra clear. It would have to be like an actual very rippy map for you to want to off screen, but most things can't survive anyway, except Soul Eater monsters because they're OP. And then, yeah, it's actually a struggle to find monsters to kill. See, in that situation, if you had hits couldn't be evaded, most of them would have been stunned and you wouldn't need any fear to be of dying. But yeah, what does it say? Eldritch minions, sure. If you can somehow fit all right, after this I'm just gonna go in here and do the boss. If you can somehow fit what is it called? Yeah, I was thinking of something and I can't think of it anymore. So this guy can one-shot me, I think, when he does that Frost Nova ability. I've only done this map a couple times, but I was standing close to him one time and it could have been he crit, but I got one shot by his Frost Nova. I'm not gonna switch to Flamesurge. I'm just curious how this is gonna work. All right, he's dying a lot faster than I expected, so that's good. And I hear just boom. After 4 seconds, boom. Oh yeah, that was easy. Oh my god, yes. Yes, yes, when I don't need it anymore. After like 20, no, probably more than that, probably like 30 or Exalted Orbs, Conqueror's Exalts, it drops. Fantastic. I'm gonna clear the map and I'll be back. Okay. Nothing dropped. Just a Warlord's Exalted. Just remember, I went with the Golem route instead of the, and I wanted to go for, if I can find it, Forbidden Power, which gives +1 power charge and increased AoE and power, or increased damage per power charge. That's from the Occultist Ascendancy. I was gonna steal it with Forbidden Flame, Forbidden Jewel, Forbidden Flesh, but I would lose 50%. According to PoB, I would lose roughly 50% phys reduction and a good chunk of regeneration, and my leap slam would be a lot slower, to a point where there's no point to using a leap slam. So yeah, I stuck with the Golem route. Ideally, I think, so this is the passive tree. Level 96, level 97 would be ideal, because you just go for the frenzy charge, which I'm probably going to get to level 97 before I showcase next yeah, the next video. This character would be a very good, or I think not very good, but it would be a good candidate to get to level 100 because it travels the entire passive tree. Look at this. It starts from the top and it travels all the way down to I was gonna say Slayer Ascendancy to the Duelist area to grab Vigor. I also went with Leader of the Pack as it provides a nice chunk of reservation efficiency. You could also, if you have enough divines, grab Impossible Escape and get precise, use it for precise technique to grab these nodes, because these are the only ones you actually need. I'm using auras have 10% increase effect, so you could put this one on top, Sovereignty instead, if you have enough divines to get precise technique. I think it's about 20 to 25 divines. I'm not going to invest that much because there's no point, and I do need dexterity. This build needs dexterity. I have 133 currently because Farrell's Fur, 116 dex. I decided to use a Conquest Helmet. You don't have to. I was going to go for spell suppression. However, I couldn't recombinate the helmets. So I decided that increased elemental damage plus 1 power charge was good enough. So I was doing prefix can't be changed, harvest reroll, chaos, until I hit something. And I think after 4 rerolls, I hit tier 1 chaos resistance, and that's good enough. And that was the only thing that it hit, I believe. So I crafted aspect level 30 aspect of the cat and cold resistance, because again, lacking resistances, because you're going to use Polaric Devastation. But I guess technically I don't need cold resistance if I'm using... Why did I craft cold? I don't know why, but yeah, if you use Polaric Devastation, you could craft probably lightning, cold and lightning or something, or cold and chaos. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why I crafted cold, honestly. Strange. Oh, that's right. I wasn't using the Taiming. That's right. I changed to the Taiming because it provides a chunk of resistances and a bunch of damage. This is like almost a 20% damage increase. Because we free, or because we chill with frenzy charges, we ignite, burn with endurance charges, and shock with lightning damage via power charges. The shock isn't, as far as I know, I think the damage is big enough to shock like normal enemies, but against bosses, it like, you probably have to crit them, and this build has about a 40 to 45% chance to crit. So it has a high percentage to crit. Every 2 discharges, you'll crit, roughly. Again, discharge costs a lot of mana, 124. And if I want to use this much auras, I needed to get Eldritch Battery. Unfortunately, you could get rid of an aura if you really wanted to. Say Vitality. What is that? And this gives 163 mana. You could get rid of Vitality, save 1, 2, 3 points, and use it somewhere else. However, I personally like Vitality in this kind of build that has no defenses other than golems. But yeah, I am using, again, Forbidden Flame, Forbidden Flesh Jewel to get Elemancer. The original plan was to get Shaper of Flames, because I remember back several leagues now, Elemancer was always the most expensive, and then Shaper of Flame was always the cheapest, because obviously Heart of Destruction is crazy expensive. But for some reason this league it's flipped. Elemancer is, I bought this for like 2 divines, like maybe even less. It was like 100 chaos for the red one and maybe a divine for the blue one. It was crazy. It's so cheap, this league. Whereas the Shaper of Flames was flipped. This was like four or five divines for the red and like 8 or 9 divines for the blue. I was like, dude, what is going on? Why is this is usually the cheapest one of the bunch. Well, other than these two. This is expensive, and this is expensive. And also the Occultist Forbidden Power was very cheap too. I bought for like 3 divines total. Yeah. Don't know, don't care. Again, you start from here, you get all the power and endurance charges you can. Drop it here, and go to the bottom. You 100% need you cannot be stunned with this build. If you get stunned while casting Discharge, you have to wait 2 seconds. So this was one of the first nodes after I got all the way down here, like level 80, like around level 80, this is what I picked up. Unwavering Stance. Very, very important. If you can get a chance to not be stunned some other way, go for it. But yeah, for me, Unwavering Stance is nice and simple. This build cannot get stunned. You will be very sad. I am using the Darkness Enthroned, 100% increase effect. This was the build. This is the one I was using on the Shield Crush of the Chieftain, I believe. Because let's see, let me take this out. Oh, okay. I can't even take it out. Well, I was gonna demonstrate that if I took this out, I cannot cast because our energy shield is at 276. We don't have much energy shield, so if we discharge, I actually wouldn't be able to recover energy shield, enough energy shield to discharge multiple times. So I could discharge twice, one more time, and then my mana, or the energy shield mana, would be like down here recharging, and I would have to wait more than 2 seconds for it to recharge. So I decided to get regenerate energy shield per second on both jewels. Also dexterity, because as you can tell, this is 10 dex, which is 100% increase, so this provides 20 dexterity. Same with here, this provides 26 dexterity. So actually this is where I was getting the more resistances also. And this one just so happened to have energy shield also. So this belt is probably the best in slot for this build. It provides resistances, life, dexterity, and regenerate energy shield per second. I know there is the craft on the belt, but this is only while a rare or unique enemy is nearby. And you won't always be by it, because this build, again, one shots pretty much everything. There's not a chance that you will be regenerating energy shield very often. Granted, this was before I decided to go for Brush of Death, and this does provide 1% of energy shield on kill. So it's possible I could take that belt out, but it's just comfortable to have this extra energy shield to use. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Okay, I can't get my auras back because I keep clicking the wrong button. But yeah, the golems we're using are Flame Golem, Lightning Golem, Chaos Golem, Stone Golem. Flame, Stone, Chaos are the most important. I'm using Lightning Golem because I decided to use Leap Slam. Obviously, we walk very slow, 20% movement speed, and we have what, a 3% movement speed, a decrease because we're using the body armor, I believe. Yeah, so we are moving very slow, so leap slamming around is the best deal. And using a Cinderswallow. You could also use Atziris Flask. Can't remember what it's called. You could use Atziris Flask. It does provide more damage, and it provides chaos resistance. However, this has onslaught and it's for mapping, so it's good enough. If you want to use Atziris Flask while you're bossing, it might be better, but I like this setup for now. That's why I'm also using the Death Rush over Barracks Respite for mapping. It doesn't matter, you can go both ways. Just having adrenaline feels nice. And if you do get a Death Rush, you want it to be for minimum 2 seconds. The life gain I killed, as long as you have, if you have Brush with Death, you don't need, like, 1% is good enough. You just need the adrenaline for minimum 2 seconds. Obviously 3 seconds is ideal, but whatever. My golem. Which golem am I missing? I hate that I have to cycle through this again. There we go, because I accidentally pressed the button. Ah, so annoying. Again, I'm using Bane just to apply the entire curse. Both I'm using flammability and Ellie weakness. I'm gonna change this to be 2020 or 2120 eventually. And this isn't qualityed for some reason. There you go. But when I do, if I am gonna boss, you take out Bane, you put in Flamesurge. And then obviously you would have to put the, how I do it is I put the curses on my W and mid mouse click. And then I would put the Flamesurge on my R. I've been doing that for years. If I play this build, if I play this build or any Ignite build, this is my setup. So boom, boom, press R. Obviously, I would discharge or press the whatever I'm using to ignite. And the Flamesurge, it only has to be level 1 because you're not using it for damage, you're using it for the burning ground. And that provides about 25% more damage. So if, I guess I should show the PoB now since we're here. Let me see, where is it? Scene 2. Is it there? Yes, it is. So as you can see, this is with Flamesurge, but the Ignite DPS, I did do a few things. I did add some fire damage nodes and lightning damage here. I'm going to do that after. I was just trying to get to 12 million. And this is with Awaken Unbound Ailments. You can also use Power Charge and Crit. Again, it only has to be level 1. You don't need to level it because the supported skill deals 4% more damage per Power Charge. It does not increase with the level. So if you can see, level 9, it still stays at 4. Only the top line, chance to get a Power Charge, goes up, which it doesn't matter. As we refresh power and frenzy charges every, what is that, 4 seconds? Yeah. So you can either use Power Charge and Crit or Unbound Ailments. Unbound Ailments, in my opinion, is slightly better, only because, let's say, if you don't have Unbound Ailments, go to the Calculations tab, and under the Ignite duration, it's about 3 seconds, Ignite duration. With Unbound Ailments, just say you got a 20, you go to 5 seconds. So 2 extra seconds of Ignite while you're just running around trying to dodge before you need to actually hit the enemy again is big. And remember, when you discharge, you need to wait about 4 seconds for the Frenzy and Power Charge to refresh from the Cat Stealth Prowl's Fur. So 5 seconds is ideal. Or if you just want damage, then you just click this. But I prefer Unbound Ailments. And with Flamesurge, as you can tell, it says about 12 million Ignite DPS. Flamesurge, as with the Burning Ground, 3 million DPS. It's a sizable amount. I would recommend using Flamesurge when you're bossing. Again, Leap Slam. On the aspect of Cat itself, which I should have spoke about earlier, I have linked swift affliction, and less duration. So the aspects themselves are affected by the jewel slots or the gem slots that it's equipped to. So we want the duration. So aspect of the cat has 2 cycling phases. Let me think what they're called. I forgot. Okay, I'm on the wiki right now. One's called Cat Stealth. It has increased crit chance, avoid damage, and you make it harder for enemies to see. So pretty much phasing. And then Cat's Agility, which has increased attack and cast speed. So the faster that these buffs can switch between each other, the quicker you can get your power and frenzy charges. So as far as for reads, gain up to your maximum number of frenzy and power charges when you gain Cat Stealth. So the quicker these buffs can switch, the better it is for you. Again, you want it within about a 2-second duration. The only way you can get that sorry, is if you can get Window of Opportunity and Duration Mastery for less skill effect duration. So we go to the calculations, aspect of the cat, skill duration, it's 2 seconds for both of them. The main duration, secondary duration. So when they flip, it's about 4 seconds. You have to wait. If you get Window of Opportunity, it changes to, was that 3.5 seconds. However, if you're able to get less skill effect duration, that makes it 1.5 seconds, so it's 3 seconds. This is the most ideal way if you can somehow go up to this area. You could, again, as I mentioned earlier, you could get Impossible Escape for Mage Bane. However, you won't be able to get the Duration Mastery to make it 3 seconds. You'd only be able to get Window of Opportunity and the other ones. Unfortunately, this is too many skill points and there's nothing here. If I was going maybe a suppression route, somehow I would go through here and get reflexes somehow. Yeah. Things, but yeah, you want the aspect of the cat to have less duration and quicker, less skill effect duration, which Swift Affliction grants. If you zoom out, look at this passage tree, top to bottom, crazy. But yeah, everything is just 2020. Only, according to PoB, only Stone Golem provides something if it's a 21. Like Flame Golem doesn't do anything. Chaos Golem doesn't do anything. Chaos Golem doesn't do anything. They're level 21. Only Stone Golem provides extra life regeneration. Again, if I was gonna go the increased damage route, I would have put in precision in the Pharaoh's Fur. It provides, I think, 1% damage. So yeah. But instead, you can just go for a frenzy charge, and that provides 8% damage. And a little bit more because, well, a little bit more in the sense that you have more attack, cast, and more damage. So having 4 frenzy charges is better than 3, obviously. I was using, so I will, also anointing, should have mentioned, infused for the extra power charge. I think in a different PoB I did earlier, I was spec'd into, I went this way, I believe, and I decided to anoint instability because I was going to go for the forbidden power route. But when I saw that, I was losing tons of, I guess I can actually show it right now, huh? So Stone Golem. So without Stone Golem, 600 life regen. Remember, that's with Vitality. And with Stone Golem, that's about 500 life regen. That's a lot. Chaos Golem. Here, see Fizz reduction, it says 87%. That's just like based on, I believe, normal hits from like normal enemies. However, according to PoB, Fizz hit goes up roughly 50% with Chaos Golem. So that's a big deal. Lightning Golem, again, I'm pretty sure there's a cast time with Discharge, but for some reason it's not showing. Yeah, cast time is 0.75. I don't know why it's not showing the quicker cast, but for some reason it does make a difference. It does affect my Leaf Slam attack speed because, again, it provides a sizable amount of attack speed. I don't know if I can see it here. Well, attack rate goes up to 20% more, so yeah, I'll be sleep slamming 20% slower, which would mean I would walk faster. So you don't want that. Flame Golem provides 15, 16 DPS. It's good. So going the Golem route, I would recommend, as it provides a lot of utility. The only problem is they die to physical damage quite a lot, and they're actually really bad in Harbingers. I was trying to farm Harbingers, but they will die constantly. Even though I don't know what it is in Harbingers, even though I have Purity of Elements, I'm assuming my Purity of Elements works to give them resistances, but even with this extra resistances, they are dying left and right. So I couldn't farm Harbingers to gain levels. Well, I could, but I'm playing like a little crybaby, so not worth it. Again, using Bane for mapping, so I don't need to press one button for flammability and ele weakness. If you're bossing, you're gonna use the Flamesurge setup and get rid of Bane. Yeah, as you can see, Swift Affliction is 25% less duration. Damn, this is a long video. 37 minutes, that's crazy. There's so much to go over. The funny thing about Path of Exile is there's so much details to go over. And if you miss a detail, people get upset. I am using, for the jewels, I am using a Watcher's Eye. This was a lot cheaper than I expected. It's increased life recovery rate, armor from Determination, and damaging ailments deals damage faster. This was 3 divines, I think, 2 or 3 divines. I mean, that's really cheap. If I wanted the other version of Malevolence, which is damage over time multiplier, it went up to like 10 divines. So, and it was comparable amount of DPS. The ailments deal damage faster and damage over time. So I just went the cheaper. I went with the cheaper one. Again, just using Forbidden Flame, Forbidden Flesh for Elemancer. When I bought it, which was, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, when I was trying to craft the staff, it was, again, cheap. It's like maybe 2 divines for both of them or less. Just using some random jewel I found. You could get something way better than this. I'm just using it. Again, using the Light of Meaning. This is surprisingly, this jewel is really good. It provides about 15% DPS in this slot on the top, right here. So going for Breath of Flames, Life, the Mana Reservation, Power Charge, and Golem Node. So lots of things to get here. You want to put the like tattoo here. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter, but I was gonna say because it gets extra increased effect, but it doesn't. You can put the lightning damage anywhere. Okay, you could even get chaos resistance. I'm not capped. Only have 31%. Yeah. If you gain, say you go to level 100, you could get Asylum. It gives 30 chaos res and reduce effective curse. So it's up to you. This build can go so many different ways. It's actually crazy. You could even go for an entire jewel right here, cluster setup, if you want. I'm not, but yeah, you could you don't even need Master Fire because on the gloves I have exposure on hit. However, I'm probably gonna change this to fire damage leeches life, most likely. Yeah. I think in the in the crafting video I showed, I crafted the boots. All I did was awaken our orb, and this is what came about, and I was happy. The gloves I bought for 8 divines. This is very good gloves. Has chaos res, life, has a bunch of strength, but it doesn't matter. And it also has energy shield on it, which is kind of important. I was using suppression gloves with frenzy charge, but it does way less damage and I can't get max suppression. So I just decided against it. The helmet, as I showed, you need to have less duration and swift affliction attached to it. So the buffs, the cat stealth can switch between buffs more quickly. Again, you could use the Atziris flask if you really, really want to. Probably for a bossing setup, it's better. Atziris Promise, that's right. Atziris Promise. You want an 8% gain elemental as extra chaos. You want an 8%. It provides a good chunk of damage, about 11%, and chaos resistance. And it lasts for a long time, 8 seconds. You could get a higher quality one if you buy it, but they cost way, way more. So it could last 8.5 seconds. I think I was thinking about getting one, but it's about 5 or 6 divines, maybe more. I don't remember. For a 30% quality flask. Oh, I think that's about it, huh? And as you can see, Steve is 33,000 into the mines again. It's crazy. But yeah, Discharge so far is as good as I remember. Because recombinators exist, you can make this kind of staff. It took me a long time to get this, but I am happy it happened. I will most likely attempt. I'll do a tier 17 map, obviously, and I might attempt an Uber, maybe Searing Exarch because I hate him. No, actually, I don't know. We'll see what I do. But yeah, take care, have fun, and remember, you're the best. Hey, boys, I'm back again at the end of the video. I forgot one important thing. So, you know how I was talking about how Heart of Destruction is expensive as a forbidden flame, forbidden flesh? I forgot that I don't even have it clicked. So you actually do a lot more DPS. So 12.3 roughly to 16 million. So yeah, you have convergence for 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 4 seconds. So yeah, for 4 seconds you're doing 60 million DPS. Ignite by itself without Flamesurge. That's a lot of damage. It's a lot of ignite. It's a lot of burning. And yeah, take care, have fun, and you're the best.